Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Be Inspired TV, where we're inspiring you to live the abundant life you deserve. I just want to give a quick shout out to View Magazine. They're over there in Atlanta. They're young entrepreneurs. It stands for Visionaries and Entrepreneurs United. They're the ones who we co-host each other's shows, and we get people to just become aware of the hustlers and grinders that are out there trying to make it to the top, but you don't really know about them yet. So guys, we have an awesome guest here on the line. Her name's Nikki Witherspoon. And Nikki, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Ooh, where to begin? All right, so I am not going to divulge my age, but I'll let you guys guess that out there. But yeah, I'm a born and raised Texan. Did all the things normal folks do, I guess, when you're growing up in a big city. You go to school, you progress your way through after school activities, that type of stuff. I do come from a single parent home. We don't have a lot of men in my family at all. We got a bunch of strong women. I was raised around my grandmother. I went to University of Houston, and I got wrapped up in a lot of student loans, and I'm an independent type person, and I couldn't rely on anybody else. Me personally, I didn't feel comfortable relying on anybody else, so I found a way out of it. And that way out of it was accepting an international contractor position overseas in the Middle East. My behind had never left the U.S. ever, okay, ever. So, yeah, I got my tail on a plane. I ended up in Baghdad, Iraq. That was an experience, okay? That turned into quite the journey, the 10-year journey, okay? So I bounced all over Iraq. I spent a year and a half in Africa. It's just an experience. It's a journey. It's a lifetime of memories that I look back on right now. People will ask me, well, if you could change things, would you do it? No, because it made me who I am. A lot of those journeys, I wouldn't have met my husband if I, hadn't gone out there. I wouldn't be in the position that I'm at right now if I hadn't gone out there. But, I made that decision at the ripe old age of 21. While most people are out there partying and having a good time and finding themselves, I was out working, trying to make a living and make sure that, my future generations were not going to be struggling. So that started for me really, really early in life. And, I found a business that was able to replace my income overseas, because primarily the reason I stayed over for so long was, the money was good. I can't lie. The money was good, but it came at a cost. Oh, it came at a cost. But, I did what I had to do to make sure that I wasn't going to have to drain anybody else financially when I came home, because my independent nature, I can't do that. I have to at least give it my all first before I try to tap in anybody else. And luckily the stones were set in a way where I could jump from one to one to one to one. And, things just happen. Things just happen. And I'm not going to put it out there that it was luck, because it wasn't luck, because I worked my tail off to get where I'm at, But I found a business. I was able to come back to Texas. So, we're here full time now. I'm going on year number 3, finally at home, and it's just a great place. It's a great place. So strong Texan, strong entrepreneur, strong woman over here. So
awesome. And you have a powerful story, because I don't know, not many people could survive 10 years of living in Afghanistan and just depending on that as your sole income, especially with a war going on, because there's a lot people don't know that isn't shown. So
yeah.
you're a powerful woman, and I commend you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. It is an experience. It's something that, we really don't talk about it a lot. It's almost like being in a fraternity or a sorority. How sometimes you're in those organizations and you don't really share a lot of the details, because people, I don't want to say it's not their business. They just can't handle it because they've not been through it. It's the same type of situation. I can't really have a really strong conversation about the things that I've experienced over there with most people, because it won't register. There's no way for them to relate, But, people are very resilient. You'd be surprised what you can handle. You'd be surprised what you can adapt to. And, being over there, I mean, instantly, it's either you survive, you figure out a way to survive, or you take your tail home. Or, unfortunately, bad things can happen. And when that happens, then, you get injuries, people have died, all kind of stuff. But everything starts with your mindset. And if your mind is not right, you're going to walk right into those situations.
Right. And it's funny you say that, because like I work at the VA and I work with veterans, and like one of the things they say is like it's like a family, so they don't like to share outside the family because they feel like people don't understand. And here you are, even though you're was a contractor, you're saying the similar thing because people don't understand. They look at you, oh, you crazy for doing that. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's interesting to get it from a different perspective from a contractor because it's similar. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I've been called crazy. I've been called all kind of names. Especially when I first went over there. You're talking about 2004. People really didn't know what was going on. All they saw were these big explosions on TV, and they just assumed that everything was like that. And I had family members tell me all kind of crazy things. You're nuts. You're crazy. Your grandfather would flip over in his grave and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Hey, you know what? This is my choice. This is my decision. By the time I had left to go to Iraq, I had already been on my own for 3 years. When I graduated, the second I walked across that stage, I tell you what, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks and I was gone. I left my mom's house. I went, got my own apartment, had no idea what I was doing, didn't have a piece of furniture, didn't have anything. But I just knew that I had to go. I'm one of those people where, hey, look, this chapter of my life is over. And if I continue to, dwell in my mother and my grandmother's house, then I'm going to get complacent. I'm going to get comfortable, and I'm not going to be able to transition smoothly to the next phase of my life. So even at the age of 18, I knew that I had to go. And I went for sure, quick, fast, and in a hurry.
He said, I'm leaving right now.
I rolled. Look, I didn't tell anybody. I tell you what, I got a raise at work. And I said, oh boy, guess what? I took myself right to an apartment complex. I didn't even look around. I went to the same one my sister had lived in when she was in school. I went over there, went to the office. I, gave them my check stubs. They walked me around. I was in there 2 weeks later. That's kind of how I operate. I know things need to get done, and I don't wait for other people to give me guidance on what steps I need to take. I just do it. I'll do my own research and just attack.
Right. Dang. Real. I like that. So, I know you've been online for about 3 years right now. So what has been your biggest success online?
Ooh, you know what? Being in a position in the public, being able to inspire others to do well for themselves. So many times people just sit back and think that they automatically can't do things, but they never try. And one of our, I'm not going to say that money is our greatest success, because I made money overseas. Money is not anything that I would shake a stick at. I wasn't raised with money, so money's not really a big deal to me. It's nice, but it ain't a big deal. But I think one of the biggest impacts that has really made a dramatic change in my life has been the ability to help others, to inspire others, to let them know that there is a way out, to let them know that, hey, it doesn't matter what you run into. If you've got people go through, my house was foreclosed, my car was repossessed, I got all these bill collectors calling, my power's off, my water's off. There's always a way out. There is always a way out. And if it can start with something small, as far as like changing your mindset, or as far as seeing someone else who's been in your position succeed, whatever little piece it could be that can get you over that hurdle, so that you just have the strength to continue and push forward. Because there's always, today may suck, but tomorrow is always going to be better. But that's up to you. It's not just going to happen. You have to be ready for it to happen. We can't, as people, we can't continue to sit and dwell in just sorrow and stuff. You have to get up and keep moving.
definitely. Because sometimes we tend to get stuck in places we don't know how to get out. So basically, one of the things I was talking about is earlier, because I wasn't sure what happened to you. I was like, well, you got to be aware of like a problem and aware in order to change your situation. You have to be aware that something is going on. So I like what you said about that. That's interesting. I like that. So, what are some basic tips that you could give as far as like, okay, not basic tips, but say you're going to the dollar store. What is one thing that you would do, or what one thing you would think about when you're going to the dollar store to shop for items?
Okay, so if you're looking at going to start shopping for profits, is kind of what we call it, doing retail arbitrage, that type of stuff. Basically, finding reasonable, cheap items that you can flip for a pretty good profit. The biggest thing, whether you're walking into a dollar store, a 99-cent store, any store, is to have an open mind. Have an open mind and get out of your own way. Too many times people walk into these environments and, sometimes people, I've got it so many times, people will come to me and say, I don't go to dollar stores. I don't shop there. I have no desire to shop there. I don't even know where to look, so you have to get that negative connotation of the word dollar store out of your head and move forward, because they've got some really good stuff there, so you need to get out of your own way, number one. Number two is be ready to spend a little time there, especially if you're just getting started. Once you've done it for so long, yeah, you can walk around and maybe 10-20 minutes fill up your cart. I know I can. But if you're just starting, you need to get the lay of the land. You need to know how stores are set up. You need to learn which aisles are going to be best for you. So I would always say, keep an open mind, look around, plan to have some time there. Don't be in a rush. And don't get discouraged if you scan a few things and they don't come up profitable. Sometimes we'll go and we'll scan like literally 20, 30 things and not find something that we're willing to put in our cart. But then if you stay around long enough to get to that item, then you're golden.
Right. So just going through the process, waiting it out, looking for things, and just keep on being persistent and not just giving up at the first sight of failure. Basically.
Exactly.
Right, and that's what entrepreneurship is about. You can't just give up when you don't see it working, because you never would see success. So I like how you put that in there.
Absolutely. You can't give up on any little thing. You're always going to have, setbacks and whatnot, but it's how you deal with the setbacks that determines how successful you're going to be. Because I don't care who you talk to. I mean, from the president, Bill Gates, all of these other people, I guarantee you they had, I'm not going to say bumps, they had potholes along the way. They've gone through some really, really dire situations, but it's how you get through those situations and continue to persevere that kind of directs your path.
Right. Okay. So, what is one of the biggest obstacles that you face in your time as working with Amazon and eBay?
Ooh, information. I mean, just learning. That's been one of the biggest obstacles. And I mean, learning to do the basic tasks, those things are easy, but learning to work in a fluid environment, because online is always changing. The technology is always changing. There's always something new that's coming out. And, sites are always upgrading. That has been the biggest kicker right there, is learning to progress with the times, because technology is not going to wait for you. If you're having a hard time learning, this command or that command, or copying this and pasting that, if that's rough, you need to make sure that you take a step back and you get comfortable with that process, so that when changes are made, you're not going to sit back and think that your whole business is just dead, because it's not. You just have to learn a new way of doing it.
Multiple ways. So, what is one thing that you do before conducting business every morning? What do you do? What is like your routine or something?
Before we do anything, actually, our mornings actually start the night before. So we always plan out the evening before we close everything out for the day. we plan on what we want to accomplish the next day. So I'm really, really big on note taking. And, it's funny because I saw a post on Facebook not too long ago about someone asking, do you like online calendars or do you like physical calendars, that type of stuff. I actually really, really like to write things down. I've got like 2 notebooks on the floor right now. That's just how I am, Yeah, it's 2016. I've got an iPhone. It'll capture whatever I want it to capture, but I'm a write down stuff type of person, so I like to write down notes of what I want to accomplish the next day. And I'll write those down at night. In the morning, I'll take a look at it one more time just to make sure that, my mind hasn't changed from last night to today. Maybe I want to reprioritize things. Sometimes just a little bit of rest will make you see things differently. And so I always attack that same list that I started the night before, that next morning, rearrange stuff and start to attack.
Right. And I like how you say that because I myself also have a planner. We plan on the day, and then I saw my cousin doing it. He got it so detailed that he has like from the time from 5 a.m. to 5:30. So I was like, wow, that's interesting. I need one of those. So it's important to plan out your day so you don't be discombobulated throughout the day, or, oh, I forgot to do this, you know what I'm saying? So planning out your day is very important. I like that.
Absolutely. Don't waste time. You got too much stuff to do.
So is there ever a time when you, like, throughout your business and building Amazon and eBay, were there ever a time where you felt discouraged or wanted to just give up?
Oh, are you kidding me? Yes. Yes. I don't think anybody in business would go through a phase where they don't get discouraged, especially if you're in a field that, I haven't been in this field forever. I'm an accountant. I went to school to be an accountant. My job overseas was an accountant. I've always dealt with money that way. I've never been in sales. I've never had to deal with customers, stuff like that. So there's been plenty of times. I remember when I first started, we primarily started on eBay. And it's going to sound stupid, but we would get customers that would send us messages through eBay. They would be unhappy, upset, whatever. Customers are just weird sometimes. And when I would see those messages, and I'm not kidding, I would like avoid eBay like it was the plague. It was so weird because it's like these customers cannot see me. They don't know when I log into eBay. But the sheer fact that there was a message blinking in my inbox on eBay and I knew what it was, I was like, I don't want to deal with it, And there were times where I would just let it sit for a few days, and because it's just something inside that just squishes everything up. Same thing on Amazon, when I would get a return or bad feedback, I wouldn't even want to click on it and look at it. Anybody who sold on Amazon, then that little flag in the top left corner is your performance notifications. And whenever you get a little flag, you're like, oh no, what's going on? Because we've had our account suspended. We've had all kind of stuff. And it happens. It happens. And there was the very first time our Amazon account had got suspended. There really wasn't very much information on it out there. There is now, of course, but when it happened to us, there was no information whatsoever. And I thought the world was over. I'm sitting here like, wait a minute, they're calling me the FBA ninja. I don't have an account. What am I supposed to be doing here? But that lasted for about a week or so. And what was so funny is that happened at an event. We were at a team event in Atlanta, and they suspended the account while we were driving to Atlanta. And I'm sitting in the car like, I'm supposed to get on stage and give, 2 different presentations on FBA stuff, and my account suspended, and I have no idea how to open this thing back up. I had like $15,000 pending in a disbursement, and I thought the world was over. I really did, but I got back home, took a few deep breaths, used these right here, did a little research on the computer, had my account open in a couple of days. I was back to it, That just goes back to that whole thing about, you can't let the bumps in the road stop you from moving forward. There is always, and I mean always, another path to go around. There's always, I don't care if something is just blocking your road right here. You can go to the left, you can go to the right, you can dig a hole and go under, you can, take a few steps back and run and jump over it. There's always a way through it.
Right. There's always a way, any way to make it happen. Like, you just got to think about it, to stop, like you said, take a deep breath, think about whatever you need to think about to get you back on track, So,
Absolutely.
because stuff will happen, stuff that you don't even expect. Like, for example, you never expected your account to get suspended,
I didn't.
So, yeah, stuff happens. Okay, so how important is it for the people you surround yourself with, your environment?
Ooh, look, you asking all the good questions. If you surround yourself with negativity, you are going to be surprised how that rubs off on you. If you got a bunch of naysayers around you that are constantly telling you, you can't do that, you can't do this. Like if you're trying to start your Amazon business and nobody in your household has any interest in doing that, and all they can tell you is negative stuff about how it's not going to work, how you're going to be, back at your 9 to 5 in no time, how, you're going to lose money, you're not going to be good at this, you're going to start to believe it after so long. If you start to surround yourself with people who are go-getters, who are entrepreneurs, who are trying to do better for themselves, who don't dwell on the negative, then you're going to be surprised how quickly that rubs off on you. If you're around people that like to succeed in life, even the little stuff doesn't have to be, I'm not telling you surround yourself with people who are just, flying around in private jets, if you can have at it. But, surround yourself with people who are trying to go the same direction that you're trying to go. You don't want people, my husband always says crabs in a barrel. You don't want people that are going to try to grab you and pull you back down to that barrel. You want people that are around you that are going to push you up and push you out of that barrel. You don't want to surround yourself with people that are going to bring you down. Jealousy is a killer thing. And I've seen it destroy many, many businesses, many, many lives, many, many relationships. And just don't put yourself in that environment, and sometimes I will be honest with you, it's hard because sometimes the most negative people are the ones you hold closest. And you have to be strong enough to say, put their hand up and be like, nope, back up. This is my life. This is my business. I'm going to go the route that I choose to go, not the route that you have chosen for me. We're not the same person.
Right. So basically just making your own decision and not taking into what people say, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So, I got a couple more questions for you because you saying some good stuff and I really appreciate your answers. They're really good. But I saw one of your posts online and it had to deal with money. So what is your views about money and how it relates to business and the emotions with it?
Money is a funny thing because a lot of times people think that you need to have money in order to be classified as successful. But, what once was a good amount of money back in the day is no longer a good amount of money right now. I see people all the time posting about, ooh, you need to be a 6-figure earner. Well, I'll be honest with you. I've been a 6-figure earner for well over a decade. That ain't enough. It is absolutely, I'm just going to be it's 2016. That's not enough. You cannot sit there and set your whole success in your future based off a 6-figure income. You're not going to retire off of that. And I'm just keeping it real. You need to start, striving for that 7 figures. I mean, look at any of the articles that are out there today. Forbes magazine has them out like every month or so about how much, you as a millennial, you as Generation Next or X or whatever generation we're in right now, how much you're going to need in order to retire. And I'm sorry, but 6 figures ain't enough. So if you're following people, you need to make sure that you're going after, a role model, a mentor, or whatever you want to call it, that is pushing to that next level. Don't let people shortchange you. I mean, I'm telling you point blank, I have been a 6-figure earner for over a decade. I am not in a position to retire at this point in time. Okay. Not at all. Not if I want to be comfortable, not if I want my next generation to have a good start off in life. No. And the thing is, it's just going to increase more and more as the years go on. Another thing I can tell you is you make the money. Don't let the money make you. Just because you're, say for instance, you were bringing in a paycheck of maybe $1,000 every 2 weeks. Now all of a sudden your business is kicking off, and I'll tell you, there's a lot of people that go from that 1,000 every 2 weeks to 5,000 every 2 weeks, and they lose their daggone minds. They lose their mind. They want to go buy this and buy that and travel here and travel there. Next thing you know, guess what? You got nothing. It happens all the time. Look at all the athletes, all the professional athletes that they go out and they have a good career for a couple years. Something happens, they're out of the league, and the next thing you hear about them, they're bankrupt.
Right.
They got nothing. Why? Because they were thrown into a situation where the money made them. They weren't thinking properly. They weren't investing properly. And now when that money is gone, they're gone. They've got no backup plan. They've got nothing. They've got no skills outside of that one particular area. They did not plan for their future. The same thing applies to all of us. A lot of times we, especially if you weren't raised with a lot of money, and we weren't. And hey, I tell you what, I'll be the first one to be honest with you. We blew through so much money, it ain't even funny. Okay? It's not even funny. But, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
You live and you learn. And, if by us telling other people to look at yourself and look where you want to be, so that when that money starts to roll in, that you don't just freak out and start going crazy and buying everything under the sun, because, material things are just that. They're material. You can't take them nowhere. That's not going to set you up for the future. So you have to make sure that the money that you have coming in, that you're thinking smart, you're doing, you're making wise decisions with that income, and you prepare now. Prepare now when you have that lower level income. You prepare yourself mentally so that when you do get that boost, you're ready for it and you're not just caught off guard. Because I tell you what, one thing that comes along with money and a higher paycheck is the moochers. Okay? Because the moochers come out in full effect. And once again, like I told you before, those same people, the same people who are going to be the closest to you, those loved ones, which are going to be the most negative sometimes, are going to be the first ones knocking at that door when those zeros start coming. And you have to be able to prepare yourself up here and in here to be able to say no, be able to say no. So you need to make sure that, and it's a hard thing. And I hate to be this way, but I mean, you have to prepare yourself. You absolutely have to prepare yourself.
So what are some things that you did, knowing that people could go from making millions to zero? So what are some things that kept you on track so you don't fall into that category?
One of the biggest things is keeping your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. Look at other people and look what they've done. I would tell you some of the biggest lessons I learned in life didn't come from the mistakes that I made. It came from the mistakes that others made. And I'm very receptive, so I watched them. When I was growing up, I watched my mom, I watched my sisters, I watched my family members, and I saw what they were doing, and I saw the outcome of what they were doing. And I'm not going to say everything, but there are some situations where I told myself at a young age, that will not be me. That will not go on, period. And, I stuck with it. And the same thing applies now. You see other people that are coming into money, be it the sports people, politicians, anybody in the business, entrepreneurs. It happens all the time. You see people bouncing around from this to that, to this to that, to this to that. They're not sticking with one thing. And, it is what it is. But you can see, people will show you, if you pay attention, what's going on. You yourself have to make sure that what's going on in your bank account, that you make sure that your bills are paid. You make sure that you're planning, because you're going to need a residence. You're going to need someplace to live. I don't care if you rent or buy, but you're going to need to make sure that you're factoring that in. You need to make sure that, one thing that always goes on in the U.S. especially is downtime. In the U.S., we don't know what downtime is. We don't know what vacations are. We just don't do it. It's just our culture. We don't. But one thing that I learned big time, especially being overseas, is you need to plan some getaway time, some downtime, some just relaxation. You cannot work every single day of your life. You need to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Otherwise, why are you working so hard? What's the point? So that's another thing. Make sure that you're investing properly. If it takes you having to get a financial planner to get you to that next level, then by all means do it. Diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Learn that lesson big time with Amazon, because if you had all of your stuff in that one account, Amazon decides they want to shut you down for whatever reason, you're stuck. You don't have a backup plan. You always need to have that backup plan, and maybe even a backup plan. You always need to have other ways that, if something happens on this road while you're backing up on that road, you can still have a couple of other paths you can go down. So never get yourself in a rut where you're stuck with just one option.
Right. And I know, like, what I usually do is just research my people before I get them on the show. So I saw that you had a post that, like, you didn't send anything to this specific account for a while, and it was still bringing in you money. It was like 4 or 5 figures. I was like, wow, that's deep.
And that's just a backup account, and that stuff, what people don't realize is that account, we don't spend over $5 for anything. It's just something that we just don't do. We used to send stuff in that was 20 at first. $20 was our limit. Then we were like, you know what? I don't really want to spend that much on a product. We went down to 10. And then, I found $5 below. We were like, I'm not going over $5. Yeah, I don't have to. The majority of our products out there are actually under $1. One of our hottest sellers, it literally cost us 3 cents a piece. And I mean, for the life of me, I don't know why people buy it, but they do. Whatever. But that account that I showed was an account that I literally have not logged into. I think the last time we logged into it was in April, sometime in April. And, I just happened to go out there and I logged into the account from the phone, and I was like, oh, it's almost $5,000 getting ready to be deposited. That's what can happen, and I forgot about that. I'm not gonna say I forgot about it, but it just wasn't in the forefront. We've got so much other stuff going on that I just haven't really been nurturing that account. I haven't sent any new inventory in months. And to have that account still generate that type of a revenue, that's crazy.
Right, man, that is crazy. Like, set me up an Amazon account. So
absolutely.
Huh? So
I said absolutely. It's a backup plan. There you go. Backup plan in action.
Right there. Be Inspired TV with Amazon. But so, like, were there any like types of books that you read to like help you along the way when you were building your Amazon and eBay business? Anything like that?
I am an avid reader, and I do have a lot of self-help books. But I'm actually a bigger researcher. So I find myself when I'm actually pulling up a book to read, it's more for pleasure. It's more as a recreational type thing, not necessarily a self-help piece. I get my whole self-help piece by researching online. I'm huge at looking at blogs. I watch YouTube videos. I subscribe to information. One of my biggest tips that I always tell people is, I'm always on Google Chrome, and I've got my folders set up. And some of my folders are, check this out, or, interesting, or, try this, or look at this, or just random stuff. And as I'm scrolling through different blogs, as I'm looking through different apps, as I'm reading different articles, I find stuff that interests me, and I will save them in those different folders. And once a week, I go through those folders and I take action on whatever if it's something that I need to buy, if it's something that I need to research, something I need to order, whatever, I'll go through those folders once a week and kind of differentiate the information out there. I'll delete some stuff if it turns out to be, crud. I'll push it out to some other team members if I think it's good. I subscribe to a lot of people's lists. Oh, there's such good content out there. It's ridiculous, but you have to find it because, one thing that I've learned about being an online marketer now, and I have not been an online marketer for long, but one thing that I have learned is there's a lot of online marketers that do not know how to market. So their content gets no play. but you can still find it if you're creative. And I mean, there is such good content out there. It's crazy. And the YouTube videos and everything is absolutely nuts. So I'm not a big reader when it comes to motivation and stuff like that. I go out there and I find people on different sites.
Oh, somebody asked, how do you guys find your team members?
You know what? That's funny. I dibble dabble in paid traffic here and there. I have done banners and solo ads and stuff like that. That's not really a big part of our business. Biggest part of our business is just being vocal and being honest. I found that being honest, being truthful, being real brings people to you. We didn't start out trying to build a team. We joined DSD back when it started, and I didn't even know. Look, I didn't even know what an MLM was. Okay, I had no idea what network marketing was. I knew about like Avon and Mary Kay back in the day. And that was pretty much it. And I had no idea about, affiliate. I didn't even know what affiliate was. Okay. I had no idea. I had none of this stuff. I learned all of that as I progressed because I am a researcher by nature. So I just threw myself into the information game. But I will be honest with you, videos is where we got most of our contact. YouTube videos, just posting random stuff. Doesn't have to be anything major. That's where people get really, really confused, or they get scared. They think that they have to go onto YouTube and put this really dynamic, awesomely edited video with the graphics and the animation. No, my first videos were horrible. They were in the dark. I looked like a bowl of mess. Hair wasn't nowhere. I mean, look, the spot that I'm in right now, pretty much 90% of the videos that I do, you will see me in the same spot. I'm in the bed, okay? I'm sitting in my bed. I'm not gonna lie, this is what I do. It's comfortable. I get stuff done.
Yeah.
You just gotta you gotta get out of your zone. I feel goofy. Even to this day, I feel real stupid talking to my phone, especially if other people are around. But I know the outcome of it. So I force myself to do periscopes. Facebook Live is awesome now. Blab is awesome now. There's so many different places that you can put content out there. And I tell you, you will get better as time goes on. But it doesn't matter. People don't care. People like realness. And realness is not some fancy, expensive edited video. Realness is you talking to the computer, or you talking, to like we're talking right now. This is real. People can connect with real before they can connect with some little weird animated thing running across your screen. Buy me. No, they want to hear what you have to say.
Like, it's funny because I have YouTube videos where I have shirts off. A baseball video. It's crazy. Dark rooms, like you said, it's crazy. I have all types of YouTube videos, and they're all just inspiring videos, So it doesn't matter. Like, just post your content. People will find you.
Oh, yeah.
It's good. So who has been, like, throughout your business, who has been, like, one of the most influential persons?
You know what? One of the most now, mind you, this is not a field that I've been in for an extensive period of time, but one of the most real people that I've been around since I've been immersed in this business has been a lady by the name of Keisha Bass. There is no wrong this woman can do in my eyes. She is on it. She has been consistent from the beginning. I've been fortunate to spend time with her in person. We've been on the same team. She's constantly full of ideas. And what I like is that she takes action on those ideas. And that's something that's very, very rare, to find somebody that's going to be so consistent with the information and the knowledge. And, I like that. And I think she's a good person to follow. Especially when it comes to marketing, because girl is on it.
Yeah.
She's on it.
Yes. I actually follow her on Facebook. She's amazing. She's a powerful.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I don't know. Look, I don't know how she does so many videos. I've tried. I can't keep up with her. I can't.
Man, she got a video for every hour.
Hello. Oh, I know Dante. Yes, Dante's on here as well. Dante, I love him to death. He's watching right now. Dante has been on it too, so I can't. And Dante is an FBA killer for
uh,
sure.
nice. So, like, shout out to Dante. So, like, you coach as well. So, like, how do you get your coaching clients, or what do you look for as far as when you're dealing with coaching clients?
You know what? A lot of my coaching clients come through Facebook messages. They come out and they just ask questions, and I'll tell you point blank. I can read a question or the way people approach in their messages, and I can weed somebody out real quick. Because one thing that we don't deal with are people who are going to be demanding, like we owe them something. Because at the end of the day, I don't owe you nothing. You're entrepreneurs. You're working for yourself. You're doing things for yourself. You can't expect other people to just owe you things, and you'd be surprised how point blank ugly people can get. Like I have people in my message box that they literally get upset if I don't respond back like immediately, and it's like, wait a minute, I have my own business. I cannot sit here and just be at your beck and call whenever you send me a message. It just doesn't work that way, So I based who, we go to that coaching level with based on their interactions with me. If they send us a really truthful message, hey, I've done this, I've done that, and they're honest with it, don't sugarcoat it. Don't tell me you're doing things that you're not, because I've been in this business long enough that I can see right through that, So people who are honest, people who are forthcoming, and they don't present their statement to me as if I owe them something, because I don't. I don't. At the end of the day, I'm helping you out. We're not one of those people who are going to charge you $10,000 for coaching. No, we wouldn't do that. A lot of times back in the day, we were charging I think it was $97, and we were saying for an hour, but I talk a lot, so I end up on the phone with them for 3 hours. And then I always give them homework, and I'm harassing them after the fact. So, we always believe in over delivering, but, you have to want it. You have to want it. Same thing goes with our team members. I'll help anybody and everybody. However, if you're not willing to help yourself, don't think that I'm gonna bend over backwards to build your business. No.
I already got my own business. What am I going to build yours for,
I'm building yours.
Right. So how important is it to just be sure of who you follow within this industry of Amazon and eBay?
There are so many false stories out there. It's just too easy. What ends up happening is people buy training and they just instantly recreate that training. And they, it's kind of like white labeling. It's no different than, buying a product, putting your own label on it. People do the same thing for training. And it kills me. It kills me. I'm not a very negative person when it comes to Facebook, but that's one thing that you will see me post about here and there, because I just don't like people being taken advantage of. I mean, if you've got good content to give people, then that's one thing. If you've been through it, you've gone through it, you've built up accounts, you've gone through all the issues back and forth, you can knowingly speak about a subject, 100%. You're not just paraphrasing what someone else has said. You're not just going and buying 3 other courses and compiling it all into a new format and putting a new bow on it. No, that's not what you need to do. You need to be able to share real information with people. And when I see people that release these fly-by-night courses, so, what I mean by that is, say, for instance, with this whole Amazon thing, if you know good and well, and Facebook doesn't lie, the history is all there. If you know good and well that you just started selling on Amazon in January, in nobody's planet should you be selling a master's course in April. No, I'm sorry. You haven't been through it. You have not been through. You haven't even been through a whole year's worth of sales. You don't know what you're doing. That's just one of those things. And then, when you start following people on Amazon and, you see these screenshots of money. So the screenshot that you brought up before, I think it was a little bit under 5,000. I'm sorry, but if that's the highest dollar amount that I've ever posted on Facebook as far as what I've been producing on Amazon, I'm not yet at a position where I should be training anybody else yet. Amazon is a beast where you should be bringing in 6 figures a month worth of sales before you even think about trying to coach somebody else. Because until you get to those levels, you've not experienced the interactions with Amazon by themselves to be able to warrant training someone else how to do that. Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to get somebody else in trouble. You're going to get their account shut down. They're not going to know why, and you are not going to know how to help them. So you have to be really, really careful on who you're following. Make sure that they've got the information, the experience behind it, that they can walk you through a process. They can walk you through a process. That's one thing that kills me. Money is not something that just falls out of the sky. And to see people who I know are struggling go out there and just spend $100, $200, $300 on crap, that's a big pet peeve for me. That's a huge pet peeve for me.
Right. And I like what you said, because when I used to be in the network marketing industry, and I just used to be like, oh, this person's got this, you know what I'm saying? Let me go follow them. Let's see. And then I noticed to a point, and I was following a whole bunch of people, but I wasn't building my business. So I stopped following a whole bunch of people and just started focusing on what I need to do now, So I like how you brought that up, because that's very important, because we get distracted so easily by all the noise on the internet, because there's a lot of noise on there, and a lot of people saying they're doing stuff that they ain't doing. So
you have to realize it's easy to copy and paste people's results. And, there's so many editors out there that you can easily do a Google search for an image, grab it, change some context around, and you would be surprised how easy it is to do. Slap it on your page as if it's yours, as if it's something that you've done. And, your everyday average person is not really going to do the research or know how to see that that's a false image or a false portrayal of your business. But that's why I always tell people, keep your eyes open, because these people are telling you what they're doing, but if you're not wise enough as an entrepreneur to go back and do your own research and look on their page, scroll down that page. It doesn't lie to you. Scroll down that page. If they're promoting such and such today, and 2 weeks ago, they were all about something, a whole nother company. Think about that. Think about that. And if you keep scrolling, and a month before that, they were all about some other company. They're on company, XYZ now. And this time last year, they were on ABC. There's something going on there, Is that the person that you want to continue to follow? Because if that's the case, chances are you're going to be bouncing around to the next best thing all over the place, I always tell people, don't join a company based off of a person. Join that company because you genuinely believe that company or that business or that product will work for you. We didn't join DSD in the beginning because of one person. We joined it because of the opportunity itself is something that we could relate to, something that we could connect to. My sponsor's not even active anymore from back then. That didn't make a difference. We passed her up in a matter of weeks, but that didn't make a difference because we didn't join for her. We joined the business for us because we knew that we could work that business, that was an optimal business for us. And that's what big thing needs to be in people's minds. A lot of time marketing, just that, you're marketing, you're trying to get people into your business. I get that. I really, really get that. But there comes a point in a business owner's life where you have to stop chasing these wild dreams and you need to focus on something, because until you focus on that one thing and perfect it, you're going to always be a novice at everything that you do. You'll never get to that next stage in business because you're not allowing yourself the opportunity to grow and to learn, because you're constantly chasing that next rabbit that doesn't bounce out the hole. You need to grab one of those rabbits by the tail and hang on to it.
Shiny ball syndrome. And just put in your 10,000 hours, man. Make sure you get it in whatever whichever business it is, man, just put in those hours, because
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, once you stay consistent and stick with it and never give up, you will start seeing the results that you want in your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. So, what are some last minute tips that you could give our audience that are watching, whether it's Amazon, eBay, or just basically entrepreneurship?
Mm-hmm. We'll see. For entrepreneurship is, be real with yourself, be honest with yourself as far as what your ending goal is. Are you in it to make $1? Are you in it to make $100 or $1,000? Because the level of effort that you put in is going to determine the output that your business is going to put out to you. So if you're looking for a genuine way to, stop going to a 9 to 5, if you're looking for a genuine way to not have to report to a boss, if you're looking for a genuine way to change your future, you have to look at it as such. You can't treat it like a hobby. You have to treat it like a business. I tell people all the time, when I first started this business, I was new, 100% new. I came from an accounting background with a computer, money. That's what I was doing. I sat here in my room, same spot that I'm in right now. I did not move for about 3 months. I refused. I couldn't. My hair was all over the place. Everybody was worried about me. I was all over the place. I refused to get up until the business was making a decent return. There was no other option for me. It was either make this work or get my tail back on a plane and go back to Iraq. You are the only one that can make that decision. And it's no one else can make that decision but you, because you're going to be the one that has to do the work. The next thing is, like we said before, don't join an opportunity for a person, okay? Because at the end of the day, when you click that affiliate link, you've already done that sponsor a favor, I guess you could say. I hate to call it a favor, but you've already done what they wanted you to do, okay? They've already got their commission off of you. It is what it is. Most businesses, you're joining in with a sponsor. Hey, no problem. But recognize it for what it is, okay? Call a spade a spade. It's an affiliate link. The sponsor has gotten a commission from you, okay? Technically, at that point, they're finished. It's up to you now. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a sponsor that's got that extra set of information for you, maybe a group, a page, a Facebook page, whatever, or a Facebook group, whatever, emails, training, a training site, whatever it is, then you're 10 times better than most when they come in. But that does not diminish the fact that it's your business and no one else's. At the end of the day, you're still responsible for you, period. You can't blame your sponsor for your lack of a commission check. That's your business. That's your business. So make sure that you're researching who you sponsor. Who you allow to sponsor you, but make sure that you're also understanding that once you click that button, it now becomes your responsibility to make it work. Your sponsor is not the one to guarantee you a paycheck. You have to do that. When it comes to Amazon and eBay, guys, point blank, stay the course. Okay, stay the course. If you're doing eBay right now and you're worrying about PayPal jail and all the rest of this nonsense, there's ways around that. There's ways to get through that. We've all been through it. Okay, there's ways to get through it, and there's cheap ways to get through it. But you have to do it and stay the course. If you don't stay the course, guess what? You're not going to see the ending results. You're absolutely not going to see the ending results. On Amazon, same thing. You have to be able to go in there and accept the good with the bad. Some things are going to sell, some things aren't. You're going to have bad reviews, you're going to have good reviews, but you need to learn how to deal with them both equally, because they're both going to just push your business forward. So just a roundabout way, hey, stay the course, period. Whether it's business, whether it's a particular company, I don't care what it is, stay the course, period.
All right. And I appreciate all your great tips. Our audience really like you. You got props all through the interview. But so where are some ways that people could get in contact and you, say they want to be in business or they want you to coach them? How can they get in contact with you?
I've got the tagline of FBA Ninja that was actually given to me by one of my former teammates. FBA, of course, being fulfillment by Amazon. So I'm actually on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube, all FBA Ninja. So you can, easily do a search by that. That's honestly the quickest way to get a hold of me. Facebook is probably the easiest way. I normally respond fairly quickly. And if I don't respond to you within like a day at least, then send me another message. I mean, guys, I get a lot of messages and sometimes they kind of fall way down. So send me another one. I always go back in there and respond. But Facebook is the number one way I would say to reach out for sure.
Awesome. Hey, Nikki, I just want to thank you for coming on here and sharing your story and sharing all your positive tips on business and entrepreneurship. I really appreciate it.
Hey, it's not a problem at all. I actually enjoy this. It's a great show. Keep it up. Just like I tell everybody else to do their research, you better believe I did my research on you too, and it was all good. That's why I was like, yeah, let's do this.
So I was like, yeah, okay, she's going to my website and see if I'm doing good. But thank you. I appreciate you. I'll message you after. But guys, I just want to thank everybody for coming on here and watching. I know somebody had a question. We already asked it. But if you got a question, just message it right quick while we wrap up. But guys, thank you all for watching. We're Be Inspired TV, where we're inspiring you to live the abundant life you deserve, because you deserve to live an abundant lifestyle. So guys, tune in next week Sunday at 9 p.m. same time. We had a little bit of issues tonight, but I'll make sure we get it straight next week. But thanks for coming in. We're gonna see you on next week. All right, guys. Peace. Be safe.